Rickashanaynay up against Hardcore, number 5 for Faultline. And it's Hardcore with lead jammer, getting right out on the outside line and coming around for a scoring pass.
Immediately into a forearm penalty there for 4140 Sasha Degrader. They're going to the penalty box, and Hardcore's going to go ahead and call off the jam there.
Boulder jammer got out, but was not able to score any points before Hardcore called off that jam. So we're starting off this jam 2 with Faultline at 4, Boulder County roller derby still at 0. On the jam line next for Boulder, we have 737 Lady J. And oh, it looks like Hardcore serving a penalty, starting us off with a power jam for Boulder. It's a track cut penalty. So Hardcore will sit in the box for 30 seconds. And it looks like Boulder is lead. Lady J getting out with lead. Boulder doing their best to keep some offense and hold that jammer at the back, or hold the blocker at the back so their jammer can get out without any difficulty, scoring 4 points easily. Looks like Faultline's only got 2 blockers on the track right now, letting Lady J come around and not touch anyone to score another 4 points. Hardcore has come out of the box and is on her, just finished her initial pass, and Lady J calls it off. At the jam line for Faultline, we have 666 Piercer up against number 22 Penelope Bruise for Boulder. Oh, I see the star is on the ground. Oh, that's an interesting. The star is on the ground. The jammer has to have the star on their head before they can score any points. So it looked like Penelope Bruise got out. But because she took the star off, or maybe because it fell off, she's no longer eligible for lead. And now she's actually got lead now, so still lead. So that's Boulder County with the lead jammer. Faultline jammer still trying to get through that pack. Great blocking from the Boulder blockers. And I think that was a track penalty for number 666 Piercer on Faultline. That means it's a power jam for Boulder as number 22 gets knocked to the ground, gets back up and calls it off. There you go. Looks like that was a full 4 points for Boulder and 0 points for Faultline, bringing the score at the end of jam 3 to 16 Boulder, 4 Faultline. Boulder starting off with a power jam. That's number 333 Honey Badger. Both teams lining up at the pivot line, and Honey Badger's able to weave her way through and get out and get lead jammer. Another 4 points for Honey Badger and for Boulder County. Doing some good offense to help keep those Faultline blockers contained and help their jammer get through for another 4 points. And it looks like the box is clear. Both teams at full strength on the track as number 666 Piercer finishes their initial pass. Just before Boulder calls it off. That was a great jam for Honey Badger. That was 12 points for Boulder County Roller Derby. And that jam was 0 for Faultline. On the line for Boulder, we have 1190 Rickashanaynay up against 81 Maddy Massacre for Faultline. Number 4 for Faultline going to the box. But it looks like Maddy Massacre is lead jammer for Faultline. Let's see what they can do with this lead. And before getting recycled back, Maddy Massacre calls off the jam, keeping Boulder from scoring any points that jam. Faultline gets an extra 2 points on that jam. Lining up for jam 6, we have Hardcore for Faultline and number 737, Lady J for Boulder. Flatiron has 2 blockers in the box, leaving them with only 2 on the track. They're going to do their best to contain Lady J. And Hardcore is out, sneaking up the inside line for a quick run out, finishing her initial pass and moving on to a scoring pass. .737 for Boulder. Jammer also out. And Hardcore makes it through for a full 4 points, along with 1 blocker release from the box. These packs are moving quickly. We are having both teams running up, trying to get into formation before the jammers come around. Wow! Awesome apex jump from Hardcore. Jumping right over those blockers from Boulder and scoring a full 4 points. Lady J also out of the pack with a 4 points. And Hardcore calls it off before Lady J re-enters the pack. Smart strategy play there. That was 12 points for Faultline, 4 for Boulder. Great work. Five-second call, and we have both teams have 1 blocker in the box each. Actually, it's the pivot for both teams. That's Lora OutaMy Wayman for Boulder, serving in a legal position, and Lez B Honest, Faultline, for misconduct. And look at that, 666 Piercer, lead jammer for Faultline, fell not too far behind by number 22, Penelope Bruise. And Piercer will call it off. Starting off strong, pretty close game. We have Boulder at 34 points and Faultline at 20 points with 21 minutes in this half remaining. That's the 5-second call. It's 81 Maddy Massacre at the line for Faultline and 333 Honey Badger. Breaking her way through the Faultline blockers. Oh, actually both jammers are out. They're racing around the track. Honey Badger's in the lead and lead jammer. And that's a power jam. Maddy Massacre sitting in the box for a cut track penalty, as it's a power jam for Boulder, so they're going to do their best to help their jammer out. They're going to hold. Nice, okay. Honey Badger is out, has scored 4 points. Boulder blockers trying to break up Faultline's tripods and defense, help their jammer get through more easily. Get a little shirt whip, and Honey Badger's able to find a way through the pack, get around for the outside line, on the inside line. We've got 2 Faultline blockers in the box right now. 3.
Maddy's got for cut. And
Yeah.
Daaamn Gina cut.
All right, that's the end of that jam. That last jam, we had 8 points for Boulder, 0 points for Faultline. Bringing the score up to 42 Boulder, 20 Faultline Derby Devils. I'm going to say thank you to our volunteers, medics, officials, and all the skater teams visiting here for helping us make this tournament happen. California Derby Galaxy says thank you.
Yeah, and if you'd like to cheer on your favorite skaters, officials, and volunteers, you can do so with a bout shout. A $2 donation gets you 1 shout out, and a $5 donation gets you 3 shout outs. Do we have any new bout shouts so far?
Let me take a look. I think we might. We don't have any bout shouts right now, but if you want to hear your name, your favorite skater, or official or volunteer, just go over to the hospitality table at the front, buy a bout shout. We'll shout out their name. And it looks like we're in an official timeout. Just got to get everything set up before we get this next jam started.
Yep, that's right. Still in that official timeout. A minute 18 elapsed since we started this timeout, which isn't bad, all things considered. I do see on the jam line we have number 5 Hardcore for the Faultline Derby Devils and 1190 Rickashanaynay. Oh, excuse me, now it's 333 Honey Badger for Boulder County Roller Derby.
Faultline going to be doing their best to block Honey Badger with only 2 blockers on the track. Sorry, that is Rickashanaynay. And Hardcore makes it out on the inside line. They love that inside line and does a really good job sneaking up it. And Rickashanaynay also makes it out for their initial pass, but Hardcore calls it off. Faultline still has 1 blocker in the box. That's the pivot.
He just got sent to the box there. That's number 33 Ivy Profen.
For a cut.
Yep, that's right, track cut.
That's right. And Faultline also has the pivot in the box. Lez B Honest also serving for a cut. Got to keep these pivots out of the box. Help your jammer out if you need to pass it.
Yeah, that's right. That's penalty number 3 for Lez B Honest. That's pretty quick in about 10 minutes. About 3 penalties.
Jamming now for Boulder, we have Lady J, who is lead jammer. Lady J is going to finish up her scoring pass and come around finishing up an initial pass, come around for scoring.
And for Faultline, that's number 666 Piercer. Right there in front of us, just shy of the pivot line. Star in hand getting cycled back. Piercer's now rejoined us on the track and it's getting by on the outside track. It looks like they'll get through. Yes, indeed they are, but they are not lead jam. Piercer's going to start earning some points.
Lady J calls it off after getting all 4 points. Smart strategy there. Call it off before the opposing jammer comes in to score any extra points. That brings us up to Boulder County 49, Faultline 24. Great work from both teams so far in this game.
Up next for Boulder County, number 22 Penelope Bruise, and from Faultline number 81 Maddy Massacre. There's the whistle. Maddy Massacre looking for an opening on the outside track, but gets cycled back. Penelope Bruise trying the same strategy, gets cycled back as well, but up now in front. Maddy Massacre working, and lots of blockers getting some help from their fellow blocker, and Maddy Massacre is through. That's lead jam for Faultline Derby Devils.
Faultline's currently down a pivot. We have Lez B Honest in the box for a multiplayer and release from the box.
That's right, and Faultline's 1-5 Ice Rocker just got sent to the penalty box for a back block. So even though Lez B Honest just got out of the box, they're still down one skater.
Penelope Bruise made it through on initial pass, and now is on a scoring pass. But unfortunately does not get the scoring points before Faultline calls it off.
At the jam line for Boulder County Roller Derby number 333, that's Honey Badger, and for Faultline, that's number 5, Heartscore. Honey Badger is able to gain position quickly, but hasn't quite gotten the lead jam, but it looks like they have now. It's lead jam for Faultline. Hardcore, though, is not far behind. Both jammers coming around turns 3 and 4, now to the straightaway. Now to turns 1 and 2, the engagement zone is moving ahead.
Both blockers ended up on the floor there.
Those jammers on the floor, yeah.
But that's not going to slow them down too much. They're coming through, and both jammers are out. It's racing.
Wow.
This is moving fast. And Honey Badger decides she's had enough and calls it off.
Looks like that's 4 points for both teams there before the call off.
Great work. I think we're going to see some fast derby. We're going to see some blockers and trying to move around the track to catch up to the jammers and set up before they make it that lap around. Both these teams are fast skaters.
At the jam line for Boulder County, number 1190, Rickashanaynay, and for Faultline, number 110, Lez B Honest.
Rickashanaynay is out, getting by on the outside line past that last Faultline blocker, followed not too far behind by Faultline. Both jammers racing around the track, blockers moving to catch up, and Boulder knocks into one of their blockers and calls it off. They score, they got 1 point. Ooh. 2 points for Faultline in that jam, 1 point for Boulder. It's always fun when you're not lead jammer, but you can get more points.
Oh yeah, that's for sure. Score now at Boulder County leading with 54 points. Faultline trailing behind with 37 points. 15 minutes remaining in the first half.
Blockers starting up at the pivot line. That worked out well for Boulder as they hit their jammer out. That's Maddy Massacre, number 81, and Boulder was able to get lead jammer. Jammer for Boulder is 737.
That's Lady J. Yes, it is. And both jammers are out now looking to score those points. Lady J at the front of the engagement zone. Looks like they picked up a few points and then called off the jam there.
I think that was all 4 points.
All 4 points. Well done.
Faultline got a couple points as well. Faultline got 2 points in that last jam. Not too far behind. The score currently is Boulder 58, Faultline 39. We've got 14 minutes left in this half. I haven't seen any timeouts from either team yet. We're just going to keep on playing derby. See how it goes.
There you go. At the jam line for Boulder, number 22, Penelope Bruise, and at the jam line for Faultline, number 5, Heartscore.
Both jammers in the middle of that pack getting stopped by these strong blockers, fighting their way through. And it's Heartscore able to get out. And that's lead jammer for Faultline. Penelope Bruise getting recycled back to the back of the pack, trying to make her way through, still on initial pass, whereas Heartscore is out after he scored 4 points on that last jam. Great track awareness from the Faultline blockers, knowing exactly how far back to recycle Penelope Bruise. And Heartscore makes it out a second time for another 4 points. Get some offense from Boulder County, helping out their jammer as they get pushed around, trying to make it through those last 2 Faultline blockers. Can they do it? I think you can do it if you just dodge around. And here comes Heartscore. I think that's their 3rd scoring pass for 12 points. Boulder County still on initial pass. Trying to get that jammer out.
Quick penalty update. Looks like that was Busty Band-Aid from Faultline leaving the penalty box for illegal position. And Ivy Profen.
Right as the jam is called off, I saw Boulder getting out. So they did get the jammer out, but did not get an opportunity to score any points. Last jam was 16 points for Faultline, 0 for Boulder County, bringing us to an even closer score. This exciting game. These teams seem well matched.
At the jam line for Boulder County, number 333, Honey Badger, and for Faultline, number 110, Lez B Honest. False start call there, and the jammers are off. There's our lead jam, number 333, Honey Badger, for Boulder County.
It's a power jam for Boulder as
That's right, yeah.
Yes, the jammer for Faultline has the box. That's Lez B Honest.
That's penalty number 5 for a track cuts for Let's Be Honest. Honey Badger coming back around, having already scored 4 points, looking for another 4. Run into a tripod and then a bipod there, but Honey Badger is through.
Great offense from Boulder, keeping Faultline from setting up in that tripod shape. And nice, Honey Badger's through, barely touching anyone on the outside line. Lez B Honest has been released from the box and is going to try to complete her initial. And she does. Not lead jammer, but making it through and able to score points now. Let's see if and there we go.
There's
Boulder
the call
calls off that jam. That's smart. That was a good one. 16 points Boulder, 0 points for Faultline, just to match that previous jam, which was 0-16.
Yeah, very, very smart jam by Boulder there. Really taking advantage of that power jam and calling off the jam before Faultline could get in any points.
All right, we've got 10 minutes left in this half. At the jam line, we have Rickashanaynay for Boulder, and looks like Maddy Massacre.
Maddy Massacre, that's right.
1 for Faultline.
Take a quick timeout, though. Let me tell you once again about Moxie Barbell. This bout is powered by Moxie Barbell, online strength and nutrition coaching that helps you hit harder, skates longer, and recover faster. DM at Moxie Barbell on Instagram to learn more.
And there's the rolling whistle signaling the end of the timeout.
At the jam line for Boulder, number 1190, Rickashanaynay, and for Faultline, 81, Maddy Massacre. Lots of movement there on the inside track. Maddy trying to find an opening, but Rickashanaynay almost getting up ahead and getting hit hard. It's a Maddy Massacre lead jam for Faultline Derby Devils.
Rickashanaynay almost out, and she makes it out. Not too far behind Maddy Massacre. The pack is moving pretty quickly, going to try to catch up and start moving before these jammers come around. Great offense from Faultline, pulling one of those Boulder blockers in the back so it makes easier time to get through. And Maddy calls it off.
Looks like that might be 3-3 for both teams. Let's see what the refs say.
They agree, 3-3. That brings our score to 77, Boulder County, 58, Faultline. Could be anyone's game.
Yeah, absolutely. 9.5 minutes remaining here in the first half. And we're going into jam number 18. At the jam line for Boulder County, number 737, Lady J. And for Faultline, number 5, Hardcore. Lady J taking that outside track. Hardcore going right down the middle, trying to find an opening.
Both teams' blockers doing a great job stopping that jammer. And Lady J gets run all the way back behind the Hardcore blockers. Pack is really strung out, and it's Hardcore Faultline with the lead jammer. Hardcore is able to get past those Boulder blockers. And Boulder Lady J is also out as well. Coming around for a scoring pass. Looks like we have one Faultline blocker in the box. Shabam, number 1-8 for illegal position. Both jammers struggling to get through these strong blockers, and Lady J gets 4 points before the jam's called off. I think that was 4-4. Ooh, 4-3. 4 points for Boulder, 3 points for Faultline.
Absolutely. Seemed like the momentum there kind of slowed down towards the end of that jam, so makes sense that there's a bit of call-up there. That brings us in the next jam, jamming for Faultline, number 110, Lez B Honest, and for Boulder, number 22, Penelope Bruise. There's a multiplayer call for Penelope Bruise. That means we're in a power jam for Faultline Derby Devils.
I just saw Lez B Honest for Faultline got out, but it was no pass, no penalty, so she is not lead yet. However, if she can get through the pack this time, she will be lead, and it helps that she has a power jam. There we go. Now, I'm not seeing a lead pointing. Let's see. It helps that she has a power jam, so her offense can help her get through the pack. I saw Faultline offense trying to hold one of the blockers from Boulder in the back. That means that they would have pack. Now they're coming in to sweep the inside line and help Lez B Honest get out. There we go, another 4 points. And Boulder blocker back on the track. Nice hit out from Ice, 1-5. Jumps back on the track. That's Penelope Bruise fighting her way past the Faultline blockers to try to get out. Lez B Honest coming up the inside line for another 4 points. Lez B Honest coming in for another hit on the Boulder blockers and getting recycled just quickly to the inside line. I'm hearing a penalty whistle. Let's see.
I believe that was a legal position there.
I think it was a cut. I don't know. Let's see. Lez B Honest sitting in the box regardless.
Yeah, that's right. That's a track cut for Lez B Honest. That's penalty number 6.
And now that leaves Boulder with a power jam. Let's see how Penelope Bruise can handle the remaining 10 seconds. Let's see if we can get another 4 points up on the board for Boulder.
Oh, wow. Yeah, a lot of penalties there. So for the pivot for Boulder, number 33, IV Profen now in the box for legal procedure. And number 293, Brass Shnucklez for Faultline Derby Devils, serving for a multiplayer.
Those 2-minute jams are exhausting. I feel for them. All right, both teams lining up at the pivot line. Let's see if we have...
There's Honey Badger at the jam line. It's a power start, but Lez B Honest is standing in the penalty box.
We're going to see some offense from the Boulder blockers trying to get their jammer out. And it's lead jammer for Honey Badger. But Lez B Honest is out. And she calls it off. So both teams will start with their jammers on the track this next time.
Yeah, interesting strategy there. I'm not sure what happened there. Seemed maybe like that call may have been a little bit premature, but who's to say?
Just gives us another chance to set up and...
Oh, looks like Boulder is starting with a skater down. They couldn't quite field enough skaters there just in time.
If you're not on the track when the jam whistle blows, you must return to your bench. You cannot skate in that jam.
That's right, and Maddy Massacre is taking advantage of that. Maddy Massacre is our lead jammer. They're jamming for Faultline Derby Devils, and they've already made their initial pass, so now they're going to work on their scoring pass.
And jamming for Boulder, we have 1190 Rickashanaynay. But Hardcore calls it off. Or sorry, that's Maddy Massacre.
Right before that call up there, looks like 1563 Lady MacDeath from Boulder County sent to the penalty box for a direction call. Fortunately, that was at the end of the jam there, so they weren't down 2 skaters. That does mean, though, however, they will start this next jam down one skater. Official timeout here.
Just for a little track repair, thank you so much to our volunteers for keeping our track in good shape so we can keep on skating.
Pass, process.
While we're in this timeout, I want to shout out one of our sponsors, IQ Bar. IQ Bars are delicious plant-based bars designed to fuel both your brain and your body. They have clean ingredients, smart nutrition, and crave-worthy flavors. That's the IQ Bar difference. There's the end of our official timeout. On the line for Boulder, we have 737 Lady J and number 5 Hardcore for Faultline.
There's the whistle. Hardcore is going to immediately shoot off the jam line as we've come to expect from them. Working on that Boulder tripod, there's the no pack call, which forces the skaters to rejam. And here's Lady J sneaking through on the inside track. That's lead jam for Boulder County.
Excellent work taking advantage of that quick no pack, but it's not too far behind is Hardcore. Coming around the outside. Can they score any points before Boulder calls it off? Looks like no. Let's see if Boulder got the full 4 points. Yes. So that is 4 points for Boulder, 0 Faultline. Really close score. I think they've been within 10 for quite a while now. We've got 89 points for Boulder County Roller Derby, 79 for Faultline Derby Devils.
Yeah, that's right. It looks like, look at these stats here, Boulder has taken lead jam 11 times, and Faultline has only taken lead jam 10 times. So it's still really close. But here's the kicker. Take a look at the penalties. Boulder County has received 8 total penalties so far. Faultline, 21.
Wow.
So despite the more than double the amount of penalties, it's still a really close game.
Yeah, they're both teams working really hard out there, trying to keep this game evenly matched. We're currently in a team timeout for Faultline. Just taking a moment to regroup and strategize before the next jam. We are nearly at the end of period 1. We have about 2 minutes, 40 seconds left in period 1. This is going into jam 23. We'll see how they set up for this next one.
Big thank you to Sticker Coven. Sticker Coven, low minimums, high enchantments. Just 10 stickers per order to start with Sticker Coven. Get your free digital proof and let the magic stick.
At the jam line for Faultline, we have 1-1-0, Lez B Honest. And it looks like 2-2 Penelope Bruise for Boulder. Both teams set up in a tripod right near the jam line, going to try to catch those jammers before they can get out on the lines. And Lez B Honest is out as lead jammer for Faultline. Couldn't be contained. Great job. And we're going to have Penelope Bruise still stuck on her initial pass. We've got a direction penalty for Boulder. That's 1-5-6-3 Lady MacDeath. Both jammers coming up around turn 4 as the blockers set up and get ready for these impact. Nope, never mind. We're going to call it off.
Worth noting there in that last pass there for Lez B Honest, one of those passes was not earned. So Lez B Honest only earned 3 points on that last pass.
Ah, okay. Coming up next, we have 8-1 Maddy Massacre for Faultline, going up against number 333 Honey Badger. This is a matchup we've seen a couple times. Both very strong jammers. And Honey Badger's out on the inside line right away. Lead jammer for Boulder. Maddy Massacre getting run back to the back of the engagement zone. Oh, actually heading to the penalty box. That leaves Boulder with a power jam.
Yeah, that was a multiplayer penalty on Maddy Massacre. And there's also number 505 Koreemer in the penalty box for Faultline, serving for illegal contact.
Boulder blockers are going to try and do some nice offense for their jammer to get Honey Badger out and score another 4 points without touching anybody. Currently at racking up 12 points. Let's see how many more we can get before the end of this jam. Just a brief slowdown, and then Honey Badger breaks through the Faultline defense wall for another 4 points.
Yeah, I gotta say, Honey Badger is, I think, an underrated jammer. They're really sneaky in that they can get through and get these really high-scoring jams, but they make it look effortless.
Absolutely. Looks like you're not struggling at all. That was a 20-point jam for Honey Badger and Boulder County. Great job. And 0 points for Faultline in that last jam. The box is clear. Both teams at full strength on the track. Coming up next, we have Rickashanaynay for Boulder and Hardcore.
That's right. It looks like it's going to be Hardcore against lead jam.
Hardcore's got a lot of leads.
Oh, yeah. Hardcore is another really excellent jammer. A lot of fun to watch Hardcore jam. Both jammers now coming back around. Hardcore is through, and here comes Rickashanaynay. Can Rickashanaynay earn any points? It looks like yes. 2 points.
2 points from those blockers that were on the ground just before Hardcore calls it off. So the last jam, oh, that was intermission. Great job, both teams. Our score going into intermission is Here we go. Creepy, crawly, spooky, scary Boulder County Roller Derby. Let's go, Boulder. Special shout out to the blocking team of my dreams, Mac and Ivy. You too can get About Shout with your if you check in at the hospitality team and buy About Shout for $2 to help support your favorite teams. All right, let's get going with the second half of this game. At the jam line, we have 1190 for Boulder.
Rickashanaynay.
Yep, and Hardcore number 5 for Faultline. These are both great jammers. Let's excited to see what kind of moves they can pull here.
Rickashanaynay up ahead, but no, it's Hardcore. He gets lead jam status. Out of nowhere, here comes Hardcore zipping around. Rickashanaynay coming through as well. It looks like Faultline's pivot, number 1-5 Ice Rocker, in the penalty box for a track cut, and there's the call off there from Hardcore. I see 4 points on the scoreboard for Hardcore, and it looks like
some interesting changes with the points here. Let's see, 4 points.
There you go. There's the 4 points for Faultline, and 0 for Boulder. Brings us into jam number 2. Up next for Boulder, number 737, Lady J, and for Faultline, 81, Maddy Massacre. Here's Lady J, lead jam for Boulder.
Lady J was able to get out because Faultline only has 1 blocker on the track right now. That's number 8, Shabam, doing a great job.
Yeah, that's a good call. That's 4140, Sasha Degrader from Faultline getting serving for illegal contact in the penalty box.
We also have the pivot in the box, Ice Rocker for Faultline, and they were both released, so Faultline is back up to full strength on the track. Both jammers out, coming around on a scoring pass. Let's see how Lady J can do. And Lady J calls it off. I think that was 0 points for Faultline on that latest. But overall, we had 2 points for Faultline, 9 points for Boulder.
Up next from Boulder, number 333, Honey Badger, and for Faultline, number 5, Hardcore. Here they go. Both jammers taking the inside track. It's looking good for Hardcore, though. No, they're shoulder to shoulder. Honey Badger getting cycled back, and here's Hardcore lead jam once again. For Faultline, Honey Badger not far behind, though. Both skaters working on their scoring pass now. Hardcore is through, and there's the call off. Full 4 for Faultline roller derby. And they're going to hold Boulder scoreless.
Penalty box is clear, so both teams at full strength. Up next on the jam line, we have Penelope Bruise for Boulder County and number 81, Maddy Massacre. And I'm seeing a timeout. Just a quick timeout to fix the track. We're back up and about to start the jam. There we go. Both jammers running into these teams' tripods. And Penelope Bruise is out as lead jammer for Boulder County. Hardcore recycled back to the back of the pack and still trying to get through on her initial. And she's out as well. Penelope Bruise coming around for a scoring pass. Bumping up against the Faultline blockers and getting recycled to the back of the pack before calling it off. I think that was definitely some points for Boulder there.
I see 2 points there on our ref's hands.
Every point helps. Get 2 points to call it off. Keep your opponent from getting any points at all. Boulder County is in the lead right now at 122 points, up against Faultline's 98 points. Faultline just about to cross over into the century mark. At the jam line, we have number 110, Lez B Honest for Faultline.
And that's 1190, Rickashanaynay for Boulder. Both jammers smushed together there in that pack. It's going to be Lez B Honest who gets through.
Rickashanaynay still trying to get past all these blockers for Faultline. They take the star pass off. Is there going to be take the star off, but get recycled back to the back of the pack? Sometimes it's a distraction tactic. Sometimes it's about it to be a star pass.
Looks like a forearm penalty there for number 7, Freddie Mercury poisoning from Boulder County. So they're going to be sitting in the box for 30 seconds.
And Rickashanaynay is out, but I think Lez B Honest is going to call it off before they're able to get any points. And they do. Let's see if we can get any points for Boulder up on the board, but I don't think so. Looks like that latest jam was 4 points for Faultline, 0 points for Boulder. Helping narrow that lead that Boulder has a little bit. Boulder currently has 1 blocker in the box, Freddie Mercury Poisoning for forearm. Both jammers out on the track, Lady J for Boulder, and number 5, Hardcore for Faultline.
Here they go. The engagement zone there up front at the pivot line. Hardcore's going to get cycled back, and Lady J looking for an opening on the outside, and then trying the inside. Here's Hardcore, lead jam.
Nice.
No, that's not a lead jam. I called it too soon. That's a power jam now. Hardcore getting sent to the penalty box for a track cut, and there's lead jam for Lady J. Lady J is now coming back around to the back of the pack, trying on the outside and taking the inside instead. That's 4 points on the scoreboard for Lady J.
Smart strategic move from the Boulder blockers here, holding a goat in the back, as we call it, to keep the pack in the back so that their jammer just has to push it out a little bit to get those 4 points. Just 1 fewer blocker for them to get past.
Speaking of 4 points, there's another 4 points on the scoreboard for Lady J. 8-point jam so far. Can it be 12?
There it is.
I think it is. There's a 12-point jam now for Lady J. Hardcore right behind Lady J. Little jammer on jammer push action, and Lady J is going to call it off.
Great jam from Lady J. That was 12 points for Boulder County, 0 points for Faultline. We just finished jam 6. So we're getting into the middle of the second half of this game. Boulder County blockers lining up at the jam line in a tripod. Going up against number 81, Maddy Massacre. And for Boulder, we have...
That's Honey Badger.
Honey Badger.
It's going to be Maddy Massacre, though, who gets that lead jam set. Honey Badger is not far behind, though.
I think she might catch up. Might be a race. See how far these blockers can make it. And... oh, Maddy Massacre gets through the Boulder wall and calls it off. For full 4 points.
Full 4 for Maddy. Any points there for Honey Badger? Yes, indeed.
2
Is that
points.
2? 2 points.
Oh, I'm hearing a late penalty call. I think one of the white team blocker 3-3 reporting to the penalty box for a illegal procedure.
Taking a look at this jam now, it's Penelope Bruise from Boulder County who's going to get lead jam assessed. They're skating up against number 110, Lez B Honest, who's now through as well. Both skaters on their scoring pass. Penelope coming up to the back of the pack and is able to sketch through. We're going to end that jam a little early there due to an injury.
Thank you so much to our medic team for keeping us safe out on the track here. Alright, we're finishing up this official timeout as our skater gets checked out by the medics. Thank you so much to our medics for keeping us safe. This tournament is brought to you by the California Derby Galaxy Supernovas. The California Derby Galaxy is a coalition of leagues in the Greater Bay Area with the goal to reimagine roller derby community into a model that is both sustainable in the long term as well as enjoyable for participants at all levels of skill and engagement. CDG offers equity scholarships for marginalized folks within the derby community to reduce barriers to participation. The leagues in the California Derby Galaxy in 2026 are Monterey Bay Roller Derby, Carquines Quad Squad, Outlaws Roller Derby, North Bay Derby, and Peninsula Roller Derby. You can see some of these teams today, tomorrow, and Monday during this tournament. Thank you for joining us for Cosmo Chaos. All right, it looks like we have a power jam for Faultline. In the box, we have number 22, Penelope Bruise for Boulder, along with Ivy Profen, number 33 for legal position.
That's right. Looks like it was a track cut called at the end of that last jam for Penelope Bruise.
Let's see what Hardcore can do as a power jam for Faultline.
And there's the whistle. Hardcore is off. The pack is skating, but Hardcore is skating a little bit faster. That's lead jam for Faultline. Hardcore now coming back around.
Boulder blockers trying to set up to catch, but the Faultline offense is going to get in their way. And Faultline's out again on a second pass for 4 points. All the Boulder blockers are back out on the track, getting set up to catch Faultline as she comes around for this third pass. Just a little bit of impedance, and she's out again. Hardcore for another 4 points. Looks like we also have Penelope Bruise back on the track. Just finished her initial pass as the jammer for Boulder. Hardcore with a jump over the apex. Very cool. And calls it off.
That's the end of that jam. Now Boulder County going to be down a skater for this next jam. That's number 7, Freddie Mercury poisoning. Serving penalty number 3 for a direction call.
Lining up at the jam line, we have 737 Lady J for Boulder and 81 Maddy Massacre. And I'm seeing Faultline doing a 2-jammer rotation. That means those jammers are going out every other jam. That's going to be exhausting.
Oh, that's killer.
Doesn't slow him down at all, though. Looks like Lady J is lead, but Maddy Massacre not far behind. Both jammers skating really fast to get around that track and get back into that blocker zone to score some points. And Lady J calls off the jam. I think both teams got some points. I'm seeing 3 points for Faultline. And I think it's 0 points for Boulder. That's tough. Sometimes it's better to stop it, though, before you lose any points. Lining up for the next jam, 333 Honey Badger against number 5 Hardcore.
There's the whistle.
And Hardcore is out.
Wide open on the outside. Hardcore gets through. That's lead jam for Faultline. Honey Badger now through as well, but here comes Hardcore towards the back of the pack. Wow, big jump there. Makes it through the full 4 for Hardcore, and there's the call off.
Great work. I love seeing those apex jumps.
Very acrobatic.
Flying through the air. Our score at 19 minutes remaining in this half is Boulder 140, Faultline 126. Faultline could come back from this. This is very close.
That's right, 14-point game. And it's still anybody's game.
On the jam line, I'm seeing Lez B Honest for Faultline up against 22 Penelope Bruise for Boulder.
It's like a big mashup there right in the middle, but it's going to be Lez B Honest who gets through and gets that lead jam status.
Penelope Bruise getting stuck on Faultline blockers, trying to get past that last one, gets dumped out to the inside line, has to recycle all the way to the back of the pack. And fighting through, gets, wow, great work from Ice on Faultline there, hitting out to the outside, to the inside, and keeping Penelope Bruise contained.
Let's be honest, now coming back around turns number 1 and 2 to the back of the pack. Cycling back after earning maybe a few points and then back on the track. Uh-oh, but I heard a penalty. Yes, indeed. There's the 7th and final penalty for Let's Be Honest. That was a track cut, so now we are now in a power jam for number 2-2 Penelope Bruise.
I think there's actually a star pass for Boulder. I'm seeing number 10, Lora Out of My Way Man for Boulder. So this is going to be a 2-minute jam. We're going to have almost a minute left in this jam, so got to contain, preserve your energy, and get some help from your offense here to get your way through the engagement zone and get those points. It's a good opportunity for Boulder to score some extra points and widen their lead. Oof.
Yeah, I will say there was that star pass, but Penelope Bruise, who is no longer jamming, is serving for a direction call, and Ice Rocker of Faultline serving for a low block.
Ice is now back on the track, just as Lora comes around for another scoring pass. Good opportunity for offense to help their jammer get through the pack. And I'm actually not quite sure. Okay, there we go. I believe that since, let's be honest, has reached 7 penalties, she was not able to rejoin. So we got an extra minute or extra 30 seconds of that power jam. Worked out well for Boulder. That was a 16-point jam for Boulder and 5 points for Faultline.
I believe that's an official review. You know, I gotta wonder if they're gonna challenge that track cut penalty.
I would.
Yeah.
Let's be honest, as a strong jammer, they probably want to keep her out on the track as long as they can.
Exactly. And if that call is overturned, well, that'll put Let's Be Honest back on the track.
That's right. While we're in this official review, I want to shout out one of our sponsors, Skate Good Club. Skate Good Clubs makes jerseys sustainably in Europe with dispatch from Europe, USA, and the UK. Enjoy perfect color matching, no minimum orders, and jerseys built to last. These Skate Good Club jerseys are sustainably made, ultra durable, and ready to ship from your corner of the world. No minimums, just maximum style. Thank you for sponsoring Cosmo Chaos. All right, update from the official review. We're getting an equipment violation for the white jammer for not having a mouthguard in. It's important to make sure you have all of your safety gear before you skate, and you can get sent to the penalty box if you don't wear it all. So we're going to be starting out with Lora Out of My Way, number 10 for Boulder in the penalty box, and a power jam for Faultline. We got number 81, Maddy Massacre, on the jam line for Faultline.
You know, I don't want to minimize track safety, but that's kind of a fun whoopsie. Like, whoops, my bad.
I've done it before. Don't tell the officials. especially the white mouth guard. It's kind of hard to tell.
Yeah.
Makes you teeth look better in photos though.
Well, at the jam line now for Faultline is number 81, Maddy Massacre.
Faultline blockers lining up, ready to do offense to help their jammer get out past Boulder. And there it is, Maddy is out as lead jammer. We're getting just a little confusion on the track from Boulder blockers. And Faultline able to get a goat in the back, hold pack in the back, and let Maddy get around for a scoring pass. This is a fast jammer, so let's see how many laps she's able to do before the opposing jammer is released.
We're released now, so now we have jammer and jammer shoulder to shoulder, but Lora out of my way, man, still, I was going to say, hasn't had their initial pass yet, but there you go. It's funny how when you announce these things, they change instantly.
And Maddy Massacre calls it off. Massacre calls it off with after getting recycled to the back of that pack. That was a 10-point jam for Faultline. Great job bringing the score to 156 Boulder, 141 Faultline, with 15 minutes, 45 seconds left in this half. It's a very close game. At the jam line, we have 737 Lady J for Boulder up against number 5 Hardcore. The Faultline blockers on the ground, but and knocking Lady J to the outside line, recycling back to the back of the pack. We've got a forearm penalty for the Faultline pivot, Sasha Degrader, sitting in the penalty box now. And it looks like Hardcore got lead jammer. Lady J is also out. Coming in just ahead of Hardcore, who's going to call it off. She doesn't want to let Boulder score any points this jam. And that's right, that last jam was 4 points for Faultline, 0 points for Boulder. Good strategic play there. Faultline starting out with 1 blocker in the box. Boulder lining up on the jam line with their blockers. We've got 81 Maddy Massacre up against 333 Honey Badger, who gets out and gets lead jammer for Boulder. Maddy Massacre stuck in the box, not the box, stuck in the wall of Boulder, who's doing a good job getting in front of her and recontaining every time she tries to get out. Honey Badger is trying to get through that pack and trying to score some points. Let's see if she sees an opening. And she's able to get out and call off the jam. I saw maybe a cut penalty. Oh, yes, okay. Looks like a cut for a blocker.
A Boulder counter blocker, that's number 33, Ivy Profen. That's penalty number 5 for Ivy.
Lining up on the jam line, we have 2-2 Penelope Bruise for Boulder. And number 5, Hardcore for Faultline. Both jammers getting speed before getting the pack, and a little jump around from Hardcore.
Oh, that might have been a track cut. Nope, not a track cut, just getting cycled back.
That's smart. They changed the rules that if you step out yourself.
Oh, there's a cut for Penelope.
Whoa, okay, it's a power jam for Faultline. Hardcore is a power jam. Going to come around and score some points. Let's see if we can get some offense to help her out. Getting stuck on the opposing wall, but they have to stop blocking because there's no pack. The no pack call means you cannot block that jammer anymore. Faultline playing it safe and staying in the back to help their jammer just push out and get through the pack. Great work from Hardcore, snaking through the jammer, through the pack, getting a little stuck in the back, and looks like Penelope Bruiser is out. I think that was her initial pass, and coming around for a scoring pass, but not before Hardcore calls it off. Good work. Box is clear. Everybody out on the track.
the jam line for Faultline. Number 8-1, Maddy Massacre. But Boulder County's going to go ahead and call a team timeout. Going into jam number 17 with just under 12 minutes left on the clock in the second half. Boulder County still leads 160 to Faultline's 153. Let me tell you once again about Fit Aid Hydrate. Fit Aid Hydrate replenishes sodium, potassium, and magnesium, providing over 200% more magnesium and potassium than leading competitors. Fit Aid Hydrate is sugar-free and dextrose-free. It's built to keep you performing at your best. Available in single-serve stick packs. Watermelon Wave and Pink Himalayan Lemonade. We're coming back now at the jam line for Boulder 1190 Rickashanaynay, and for Faultline number 8-1 Maddy Massacre. There's the whistle. A little bit of hesitation there, but it's going to be Maddy Massacre. Gets through on the inside track where lead jam status. There's a multiplayer call, and that's a power jam for Maddy Massacre. Rickashanaynay getting sent to the penalty box for a multiplayer call. Maddy Massacre is through. That's 4 points on the scoreboard. They're coming back around to that first straightaway now to the back of the pack. Nice little jump there on the inside. Takes a knee, gets right back up, another 4 points on the scoreboard for Maddy Massacre and Faultline Devilz. Devilz now in the lead, 161 to 160. Here comes Maddy again. Momentum has ground to a halt a bit, but Maddy's working on it. I heard a penalty. I think it was a legal contact. Let's see who that goes to. It looks like a skater for Faultline. Maddy is still in it. That skater is number 666 Piercer from Faultline in the penalty box. Maddy, however, is coming back around to turns 1 and 2, coming to the back of the pack. They're hitting some blockers. We now have both jammers back on the track, and there's the call off from Maddy.
There's a lead change.
That's right.
Line's in the lead now with 167 points. There's a 14-point jam. The Boulder County at 160. We've got 10 minutes left in this half. Let's see what happens. This exciting update.
Absolutely. It's a close one, and that means it's going to be a fun one. So let's see what happens next. I see at the jam line, number 737, Lady J standing next to number 5, Hardcore. And there's the whistle. Both jammers trying that outside, the inside, now the outside. Hardcore has been making efficient use of that outside track, but Lady J is taking the inside. There's a multiplayer there for 1-5, Ice Rocker from Faultline Devilz. And both jammers are squished together at turn number 1. I heard another penalty there. Let's see who that was for. And here comes Lady J. They're out. They get lead jam status assessed to them.
This could be an opportunity for Boulder to take the lead again. Let's see how many points Lady J can put on the board.
Lady J running into 41-40. That's Sasha Degrader knocking them down, which gives Hardcore plenty of time to get through and start earning some points. There's a no pass, no penalty there. It looks like Lady J only picked up 3 points on that most recent pass. Hardcore, however, the full 4. Lady J on this first straightaway again. They're going to get cycled back to the outside, looking like they might have been hoping for a penalty call there, but they didn't quite get it. Hardcore, however, juking on the out and then the inside. Another 4 points on the scoreboard. That's 8 points now for Faultline Devilz. 4 points for Boulder. Let's see if they'll add any more. It looks like they will. Another 3 points there for Boulder County Roller Derby, bringing that jam to 7 points versus Faultline's 8. Boulder County at 167. Faultline Devilz 175.
Wow, there's an exciting jam. Both teams getting very close and keeping that score very close to each other. Up next on the jam line, let's take a look. We have 333 Honey Badger, and it looks like 916 Slick Mick for Faultline. We haven't seen this jammer yet, so let's see how they do. We're having an official timeout. Nope, a team timeout for Boulder County.
Official review.
Official review.
Yes, that's right. For Faultline, it looks like. Is that right? No, it's not right. It's definitely for Boulder County. We're just going to get that update on the scoreboard. Yep, there's the change.
All right, let's go take a look and see what this official review is about. In the meantime, let me tell you about the hosts for this tournament, Cosmo Chaos, the Supernovas. The Supernovas program is a program through the California Derby Galaxy. It's a pool of skaters in the Greater Bay Area who are looking for more competitive, high-level WTDA gameplay. The Supernovas program is a combination of skaters from all participating leagues to come together at high-level competitive charter teams, which allows more opportunity to play at this competitive level while also supporting recreational play at their home leagues. Thank you to the Supernovas for hosting this Cosmo Chaos 2025.
So it sounds like Boulder County is asking for a forearm penalty to be assessed to number 15, Ice Rocker. Officials are now coming back together to discuss that. Taking a look at Ice Rocker's penalties right now, Ice Rocker is at 5 penalties. So if this call is changed and Boulder County wins their official reviews, that'll put Ice Rocker at 6 penalties for this bout.
And there's the 5-second call. At the jam line, we have 333 Honey Badger for Boulder and 916 Slick Mick for Faultline. Honey Badger is lead, but Slick Mick is also out, not too far behind. Both jammers coming around and the blockers getting set up, ready for these jammers coming in. Oh, almost an apex jump, but got a hard hit out on the line for Slick Mick, having to recycle to the back of the pack. And Honey Badger is out through with a 4-point scoring pass. Slick Mick falling down just as they get out of the pack and getting re-caught up in the boulder wall. That's not a good feeling, but they are going to make it through. Great blocking from 3-3 on Boulder. And Slick Mick makes it out. Oh, not quite. Looks like Boulder's able to recycle Slick Mick all the way to the back of the line. This is our scoring pass, but they're not able to get out of this pack. And we have Honey Badger coming around for a fourth scoring pass. Wow, not touching anybody. Oh, and it looks like that's a cut track penalty for Honey Badger. That leaves it at a power jam for Faultline. Slick Mick, let's see if they're able to get out with any help from their offense. Just trying to keep the pack in the back so that they're able to push out. It's just really grindy, and they're out. That's 4 points for Slick Mick. Power jam for Faultline Derby Devils, and this is going to be a 2-minute jam. We had some offense sweeps. Oh, not quite. Gonna let Slick Mick try to push the Boulder blockers out of play. Try to get her way through. Try to score points as she goes. And unfortunately getting knocked out to the inside line and have to recycle all the way to the back of the pack. Honey Badger is also out of the penalty box and coming around on another scoring pass just as the jam ends.
Circling back to that official review, it looks like the call on the field did stand, and Ice Rocker was not assessed at a forearm penalty, but it does look like Ice Rocker just was called on a legal position, so that's going to be penalty number 6 for Ice Rocker.
All right, that last jam worked out really well for Boulder County. They are back in the lead with 183 points to Faultline Derby Devils, 179. This is a very close jam. It's only a 4-point difference. This could be the difference. We've got 6 minutes left in this half, and we've got an official timeout.
Very fortunate call for an official timeout. I feel like both teams could use the break. It's such a close game with only 6 minutes remaining in this game.
I think so. You got to have a minute to recoup and figure out what you're going to do next.
There's the end of the official timeout at the jam line now for Boulder County, number 333, number 22, Penelope Bruise, and for Faultline, number 81, Maddy Massacre. There's the whistle. They're both shot off like a rocket, each jammer taking the inside and the outside, but it's going to be Maddy Massacre who gets the lead jam status. Maddy Massacre now coming through the first straightaway into turns number 1 and 2, coming around to the back of the track. Little tumble there for Boulder County blocker, and both jammers are now through. Penelope Bruise starting their scoring pass, but Maddy Massacre is going to call off the jam.
And we've got another lead change. Faultline is now in the lead with 187. Boulder County 179. It's going to go back and forth.
So.
We've got 5 minutes left in this game. Let's see what these players can do. And an official timeout.
Another official timeout? No, just a timeout for now.
Not sure who called that.
I think you might be right. I think it might be an official. Wow, they're really just teasing us here.
I know. I want to see the end of this game.
Yeah.
Got to make sure we get everything right, though.
I see a pair of officials at the scoreboard booth. It looks like maybe they're working on, I assume it's score. Probably not time.
I thought some of their numbers changed, but we'll find out.
That's true. I was wondering about that score, the score change, the lead change rather. Keeping an eye here on the scoreboard to see if anything changes. Who's to say? In any case, I see our two jammers at the jam line from Boulder, 1190 Rickashanaynay, and from Faultline, number 5 Hardcore. 5 minutes 9 seconds remaining in the bout.
And this is jam 21.
That's right. Rickashanaynay up ahead, looking for an opening. And there's a forearm call for number 7 of Boulder County, Freddie Mercury poisoning.
Rickashanaynay coming around the track at rapid speed, calls it off. Let's see if they got points for that. Followed closely by Hardcore.
I don't think it's the full 4. Is that 3 points there for Rickashanaynay?
I've seen 3 points for Boulder on that last jam.
All
right, our current score. That helped out Boulder a lot, though.
That helps.
It's current score 182 Boulder, Faultline 187.
Another timeout.
Hey, when it's this close, you got to make sure you get every detail right.
That's true. That's true. 4.5 minutes in this bout. if you'll excuse the timeouts.
Oh, looks like it's actually an official review from Faultline.
Oh, good eye.
We're going to find out what this official review is all about. In the meantime, let's shout out our sponsor, Sticker Coven. Get up to 100 custom 3-inch stickers for just $47, or upgrade to dazzling holographics for $85s. With low minimums, UV laminated finishes, and a queer women-owned magic finishes behind every order, Sticker Coven brings your boldest ideas to life. Stickers so good they might be cursed, with quality. All right, this official review, Faultline is looking for a cut call on the white jammer from that previous jam. Let's see what the officials decide for this.
I believe that was Rickashanaynay, number 1190.
Thank you. Yeah, let's see what the officials decide for this review. We'll see who ends up in the box.
Not actually exit the track.
Looks like the result of that official review was that the jammer did not cut the track, and Faultline does not retain their official review. Thank you to our officials. And jamming now, we have 737 Lady J, but it's
Maddy Massacre.
Maddy Massacre. Thank you. Getting out first for the lead jammer for Faultline. Lady J still stuck in the back, trying to make her way through as Maddy comes around for a scoring pass. It's just knocked out to the inside line, and Lady J almost got out, but has to recycle all the way back to the back of the pack. Maddy Massacre gets 4 points and calls off the jam. You got to play this short game. Oh, looks like there was a penalty for the white jammer, Lady J. I think it was a high block. Nope.
Well, we'll find out what it is in just a moment.
In the meantime, we got a power jam for Faultline with number 5, Hardcore. Oh, and don't actually get to start. We're going to have a timeout again.
Lots of timeouts here to get this figured out. Score is Faultline leading 191 to Boulder's 182.
Still a very close game. We've got 3.5 minutes left in this game. Boulder lining up at the line, and there's the start whistle. Hardcore, and they're out. Hardcore is lead jam for Faultline. Boulder jammer still in the box, so we've got a power jam for Faultline. Nice hit out on the inside line from the Boulder blockers, forcing Hardcore to recycle to the back of the pack. We're sending number 7 to the penalty box for Boulder.
That's a track cut. That's a penalty number 6 for Freddie Mercury poisoning.
Oh, and we've got a jammer swap in the box. Hardcore is just reported to the box for a cut, I believe.
Looks like you were right with Lady J. That was a low block earlier. Hardcore, yes, it was a cut.
All right, Lady J's back out on the track and trying to complete her initial pass before she can start scoring any points. Those Faultline blockers are strong and hard to get past, though. Even with some help from her friends, who's not able to get through. Faultline just reforming right in front of her. Wow, apex jump from Hardcore coming right out of the box and jumping past all those Boulder blockers. Gonna put up some more points on the board. Boulder still on their initial pass. And Hardcore's made it through again for another 4 points. This is one fast jammer. I think this might make all the difference for Faultline. We've got 2 minutes left in the period, and they're at 199. Hardcore, another 4 points. There looks like there was a star pass for Boulder. We got Lora OutaMy Wayman, number 10, jamming now for Boulder. And they're able to get through for 4 points for Boulder. That's good to get some points up on the board. And Hardcore's through again, just as we are out of time.
No, it was a call-off, actually. Yeah.
How can there be a call off? Both block jammers went to the box.
Oh, it looks like we're going to end that
Okay.
jam early for an injury. Thanks once again to our medical team for taking care of us and our skaters, making sure that everyone gets to skate out of this tournament.
Yeah, just a score update. We have Boulder County at 186, Faultline at 207. Close game.
That's right. Just a minute 42 remaining in this second half. Excuse me. As soon as I say that, time gets updated. We're now at a minute 46. Going into, nope, back to minute 42. I think they're doing it just to mess with me. Yeah, look at that. They're changing it even more. 138.
Hey, every second counts. We really got to make sure.
Oh, I know. That's why I got my eyes glued to the scoreboard to see where we're at. You know, it's possible this could be this next jam could be our final jam for this bout.
That's right. We have less than 2 minutes left in the period.
So Faultline, they're going to probably be playing their best jammer here for their next jam, or their strongest jammer, just to get out in front of the line, get that lead jam status assessed to them so that they can hold the clock for the remainder of
They're probably going to
bout.
Run it so that they can run out the clock and retain their lead all the way to the end of the game.
Like we have our skater standing, walking off the track.
That's always good to see. Thank you again to our medics, keeping us safe out here.
Looks like we settled on 138 for final time.
And that rolling whistle ends the official timeout. Going to get set up for the next jam and possibly the last jam. At the line, we have number 333 Honey Badger for Boulder up against number 81 Maddy Massacre.
And they're off. Honey Badger is up ahead working on a tripod. Maddy Massacre far behind, but there's Honey Badger getting cycled back, which means Maddy Massacre's got a considerable advantage. Here comes Honey Badger though on the outside, getting stopped by Faultline. Trying again on the inside. It's looking pretty good for Honey Badger. And there it is, lead jam for Honey Badger.
Oh, this could be really great for Boulder. They got a chance to score points, get some points on the board, and they could take the lead on this last jam. Boulder blockers still holding Maddy Massacre at the back of the pack and running all the way back. Honey Badger out for another 4 points. Let's see, I think Boulder County might be able to catch up.
That's, yeah, they're now 190.
Oh, we've got a star pass from Faultline. Looks like they put out Hardcore as the pivot, and now Hardcore is jamming after that star pass. You got Honey Badger coming around for a scoring pass, followed not too far behind by Hardcore as the jammer.
That's a really smart pivot rostering there. We've seen nothing but good things from Hardcore today, so it makes sense to have a two rockstar team for your jammer and pivot.
Absolutely. And Hardcore's made it through for 4 points. Honey Badger in the pack, trying to get through for another 4. Getting stopped by Faultline blockers. Let's see. And Honey Badger is calling off the jam. But it looks like, they got called on a penalty.
Yeah.
So they cannot call off the jam and have to report to the box. That's not looking good for Boulder because Hardcore is still out there racking up those points. Boulder currently has 2 blockers on the track. Going to try to stop Hardcore, but she's able to sneak around the outside.
15 seconds remaining in this jam and the game. We're hearing cheers from Faultline. It seems like they're pretty confident in the outcome of this bout.
And Hardcore gets through for another 4 points. That's 16 points so far. And that's the end of the jam and the end of the game. Our unofficial score is Boulder County 194, Faultline Derby Devils 223. Really great work from both teams. Yeah, it's a really exciting game.
A really close one. I don't suspect that the scores will change much enough to matter at this point. So I think Faultline may have it. We'll see when we hear that next whistle.
Yeah, really good comeback from Faultline in that second half. And there's the rolling whistle. This is our final score. Boulder 194, Faultline 223.
That concludes game number 3 of 5 just today. 5 just today. Can you believe
games,
that?
One day, and we're going to be here for all of them, bringing you the best Derby announcing this on the Pacific Coast.
Coming up next, game number 4. We have Tucson versus Pacific Roller Derby. Very excited for that. Feels like not long ago that I last saw the Tucson Javelinas play, so I'm excited to see them play again.
I love their mascot. It's the best mascot in Derby, in my opinion.
It's up there. It's one of the good ones for sure. So why don't y'all stay tuned? My name is Mitch's Get Stitches, and I'm joined by
Z Machine.
We'll be right back.